If not that, the winner of Ferguson and Oliveira should fight Gaethje.
Yeah, because Gaethje's ranked number 1 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that could be
the winner
title
of that
eliminator.
fights the winner of
the
Poirier and
Conor.
God, there's so many.
The lightweight
and then throw in
division-
Paul Felder.
Dude, the lightweight division is just
There's so much
stacked.
going on. So much going on.
So stacked.
The one fight that is coming up before the end of the year, Pettis versus Morano.
I like it.
That is going to be a good fight.
I mean, did they have to add it to December 19th? That
I know.
card is
I know.
so stacked.
I'm trying to think of the last time I was so excited for a card. It's been a long time.
I know.
That to me is like the card of the year. Like it just is. Every single fight from top to bottom, whether you're a casual fan or whether you're a diehard MMA fan.
And that's even considering the main event being removed.
I know.
It's still stacked.
I know. But you know what? I feel like they have enough time. Throw something in on a couple weeks' notice. Like, just do it. You know, sure, the Stephen Thompson and Jeff Neal fight, that's going to be an awesome fight. But at the same time, what is it?
Speaking of dark horses,
Yeah.
Jeff Neal is my dark horse.
Jeff Neal's going to beat
in
Thompson.
the welterweight division.
Yeah, he's going to beat Thompson.
Yeah,
I think
that's how I see it going.
I think he's got a really good chance of beating Thompson.
Yeah, same.
So that is another fight that's added to the huge December 19th card. And then some recent news, which just kind of blows my mind. The fact that it's even being talked about, 6 years later? RDA claimed that Khabib tapped out in their 2014 fight.
Come on,
and he
RDA.
posted the video as like proof. He's like, "Yep, it happened." I'm like, we're not watching the same video. When you watch it, they fought in April 2014. RDA won via unanimous decision. Or no, I'm sorry, Khabib won. Yep, via unanimous decision. There was a part in the fight where Khabib was trying to get up while being guillotine choked, and he put his hand down and he couldn't rest to put it on. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
Like, what happened that was so... Like, why would you beg for a fight with a fighter that's retired?
Right. It's dumb, but guess what? It got him a fucking headline.
It did. Yeah, I wrote about him, yeah.
It got him a headline.
Yeah, I wrote about
How
him.
about, we were talking about this last week. We didn't know what was going on, and
It's another big story, man.
suspension.
I mean, the stories never end in the UFC world.
you thought he was dealing with the
Yo,
cartels.
I really thought that
you were going deep conspiracy
I
theorist.
thought Yair
Alex
Rodriguez.
Jones over
Yep.
here.
I thought Yair Rodriguez was with the cartel doing stuff with the Mexican mafia or
Yeah.
something. But it turns out he's got a USADA suspension.
But I wonder for what.
Because in 3 times within a 12-month period, he did not report where he was at and they could not find him.
Wow.
So he kind of pulled like a Nick Diaz.
Sure.
He kind of pulled like a, yeah, come find me.
He's probably
you
annoyed.
can't find me.
Like, come on, why do you guys want to know my every move?
It's
That's just
well,
annoying.
and that's the thing. I get that it's annoying, but you're literally a fucking athlete that they need to know if you're being if you're drugging yourself, if you're
Sure.
doing steroids, if you're doing the pot,
Right.
You know, so it's like you got to kind of know. Where your whereabouts are. So he's suspended for 6 months. He could come back. I think it was
He's supposed
like
to fight
March.
Zabit for the last 2 years.
Yeah. It's another fight to where it's like,
That fight's never happened.
is it ever going to happen? I don't know. A couple more stories here, and then we'll wrap up the show. Donna Cruz is going to be returning to the Octagon, and I can't wait. UFC 259, that is going to be happening in March, and he's going to be fighting Casey Kenny, which I know it isn't a big name, but at the same time, drop Dominic Cruz down a couple pegs.
Sure.
He's old as shit.
Yeah.
He's not really that old, but
he's very injury prone.
he is very injury prone, and on top of that, let Casey Kenny fight a top contender and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, really, if Cruz beats Kenny, cool. If Kenny beats Cruz, that shoots him up like crazy.
Where's he ranked?
I
Dominic Cruz?
think
he's
that's
top
a good
10.
question.
He's top 10.
Yeah.
He just lost to.
He's the number.
Triple C.
He's the number 10 right now.
Okay.
But Casey Kenny not ranked.
Yeah.
So it's like I
wonder why the UFC gave him that fight.
Here's the thing. Rankings again don't mean shit because he just fought Henry Cejudo, who was the number 1 pound for pound, or he was like
he was the champ.
Yeah, he was the champ. So rankings don't matter. It doesn't. Nothing makes sense. But yeah, I'm excited for that fight. That's going to be happening at UFC 259.
We got a few months for that.
Yeah, we got a little bit for that. Breaking news right before we went on with Mr. Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather and the boxing world literally doing meth. Like, they're just doing all of the drugs. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's insane. There is an exhibition booked for February 20th between 49-0 Floyd Mayweather.
50-0.
Oh, 50-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And really, he won't lose it because it's an exhibition.
So it won't go on the record.
So, shoot me in the... It makes...
Isn't there a big size advantage? Floyd Mayweather is nowhere near 190 pounds.
No, and that's why. So, here's the thing. Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, February 20th. Here's where Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul are geniuses. You can buy the pay-per-view right now for $29.99. After they sell 1 million pay-per-views, it goes to $39.99. And it goes all the way up. It's a tier package.
Sure.
Which I thought was brilliant. I thought that was like, holy shit. Like, nobody's thought of that.
No.
But it completely deteriorates the boxing respect and dignity of the sport. It has been going on for so long. It's like, and Luke Thomas said this, it is the bridge between real fighting and wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, and it really is.
It is kind of gimmicky.
What is real?
But guess what? People are going to watch. People are going to watch it.
It's so, here's the thing. Do you think, let's say Logan Paul gets a win.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Paul's already got his win from Nate Robinson.
Yes, he does.
He made memes out of it. Okay. Do you see in 2021 the Paul brothers fighting in the UFC? Do you think Dana takes that money bag? No?
I mean...
Or does he keep the sport legitimate and doesn't create a fucking circus out of it?
Well, he did let, what's his name in? From the WWE.
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
And Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brock at least has the credentials. He was
Right.
a wrestler. A different story.
It's just...
CM Punk had none of that.
No.
I'm not discrediting him because I'm not here to shit on the guy.
No, but to me, it makes no sense to do this. It makes no sense to... You have a legitimate organization known as the UFC. If they bring in Jake Paul or Logan Paul, that to me just creates a circus.
Yeah, it does.
It's circus. And you know what? If they do, cool. Bring them in and set them up against legit competition. Don't, play with their balls.
Don't give them the little alley-oop.
Right. So Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, it's crazy. I mean, shout out to those kids, man. They're 20-something years old. They're early 20s. I mean, you want to talk about kids that are going and getting it now off of fucking Vine and YouTube. It just blows my mind. But it really doesn't legitimize the sport. It doesn't, it creates this weird sense of reality. Like, oh, I'm an athlete. I can become a fighter.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
No.
Last story here, and then we'll wrap up the show. Flint's own Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
She is now signed an MMA deal.
Sure.
A multi-year MMA deal with the Professional Fighters League.
PFL.
That is crazy to me. That's another thing that came out of nowhere. It's like 2020, there's no rules. Now she's training with Jackson's MMA, which is awesome.
And John Jones.
Yeah.
I've seen her training with John
Jones, Holly Holm, Greg, literally training with Greg Jackson, working on her leg kicks, working on her single leg takedowns. It was a great thing to see, and I was just like, wow, she's taking it seriously.
Well, she's going to always have an advantage on the feet.
Yeah.
Against any of these chicks.
Work on what you don't know.
Yeah.
Work on what you don't know.
Focus on the grappling and the jiu-jitsu and all that.
And, I mean, it's a multi-year deal. She also said that she's going to stay in the realm of boxing as well. She said, I wanted to test myself. I wanted to see if I could be a world champion in boxing and a world champion in MMA. That's something to test myself on. I'm not saying boxing is easy, but I've been on the top of the world for almost 14 years now. And listen, Clarissa is a spectacle. She is someone that, I mean, I think I show her a lot of love because she's from Flint. She's a Michigander. But I mean, multi-division champ, somebody that comes in and dominates. She's got the punching power. I think that if she gets a couple good wins at the PFL, she'll definitely come into the UFC.
Oh, yeah. It's just like a feeder league almost.
Do you see her getting into the UFC as early as the end of 2021? Or do you see it 2022?
She could probably get in 2021.
You think so?
Yeah, all she needs is a couple of fights.
You don't think that's too quick?
Oh, that's not. Don't get me wrong. I think it is quick.
Especially if she does boxing and MMA. But what if she comes in and just boom, 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 and she gets 3 fights and she's like, okay, what's
that's
next?
That's what I mean. Like, what if she just...
Because
if it stays on the feet, she's always got... And with 4-ounce gloves?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm so excited.
She's knocking girls out with 16-ounce gloves or 12-ounce gloves.
So excited. I think that Shields...
I'll be watching.
Shields, she's going to dominate. if I was in the PFL and I'm a woman fighter, I'm kind of wondering, like, what should I do next? So very excited for that. So a couple things coming up before we wrap up the show. We've got some great stuff coming up, including the UFC watch party.
Yes.
That is going
Those
to
are
be,
my favorite.
Yes, that is going to be happening for the next 2 Saturdays. So this Saturday with the UFC 256, and then the last card of the year, December 19th. That is going to be a banger of a card. Don't miss that. We'll have some giveaways, too, for the Saturday card. Another thing, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Art of Combat Pod. Going to be doing some interviews this week. Very excited about that. And we have interviews on our Instagram now from some great fighters based in the Miami, Florida area for Freedom Fighters MMA. Big shout out to David from First Round Management helping set that up. We're building this and we're doing it as we go. So make sure that you support the show. Like, follow, share.
All that good stuff.
Anything else, Ace?
I think that's it. We kept it under an hour, which is our goal from now on because we want to be able to post it to Instagram too.
Yes. So we're going to throw this up on Instagram as soon as possible. Thank you so much for sticking around through the technical difficulties and all that jazz. And hopefully next week we'll be in that badass studio.
Wait until you see the new studio.
Ooh, can't wait for that. Peace and love, guys. Thanks for watching.